This is Dr. Lora Hargrove, Director of Faith Outreach for the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, here to introduce you to our next Faith Spotlight, First Fruits Farm. First Fruits Farm is a nonprofit Christian ministry located in Freeland, Maryland, who's dedicated to providing fresh, nutritious food for the hungry through volunteer service and community partnerships.
First Fruits Farm is over 27 years old. This began as a family ministry. Then it became a church ministry at Hereford United Methodist Church and a separate nonprofit in 2004. As the name would imply, First Fruits Farm, we want to give our very best, like an offering to God, giving God the first fruits. Also, motivation for that is Matthew 25:35. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. As I say to people, the Lord gave us a commandment, not a suggestion. So we're to be involved in bringing relief for their suffering. So that's that. And then our motto of Grow, Give, Serve is all about we serve a God of increase, more relief, more blessing, right? More, yes.
So tell me this, what inspired you to start the farm?
It was really sort of an interesting chain of events. I was headed to divinity school after a 2-year program, and it kind of, yes, it's a true story. Without going into the details, I got rejected for probably some overzealous answers to the registrar. And so at the time we had started this ministry, and my wife said, I think God is calling you to a different type of ministry, not being a local pastor. What about this farm idea? At the time I said, well, that's insane. It's 1 acre. What can God do with 1 acre? Well, we found out what God can do with 1 acre. He turned it into 300. So that's how it began.
Amazing. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's incredible work. You are the #1 provider of fresh produce for the Maryland Food Bank.
Right, and
you've got how many other partners in the work that you do?
Yeah, over 350. COVID took our partner base literally up almost tenfold, from 36 to be exact, in the end of 98 up to today, over 350.
Wow, that's incredible.
Amen. And we've been blessed to have the resources to help people, as much as we can.
We also want to know how the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives and the Faith Office in particular can be of support to First Fruits Farm.
Well, part of the way you can be of help is what you're doing right now, is spreading the word, letting people know that we're around. We have been so busy in the doing, farming, 280 some acres, 250 some tillable, is a lot of work, as you know. So we've been so busy in the doing that we haven't done as much as we probably should have over the years of telling our story. So helping to tell the story is a good thing.
Okay, we want to get the story out. And, when we were here before, we were here with the Secretary of Agriculture for the state of Maryland.
Good friend, Kevin Maddox. Yep.
Absolutely. And we are looking forward to coming back with Lieutenant Governor. And as she is the chair of the Governor's Interfaith Council, we want to come out and also support you by volunteering at the farm. So we're looking forward to that a little bit later on in the summer.
Right.
But
well, that'd be a great blessing. We'll look forward.
Well, we are making our way around First Fruits Farm, and we are now with Ben Mortensen, the Director of Volunteers, and Sarah Fair, Volunteer Coordinator. So we're going to hear from them. And what I want to know, and I think our audience is going to want to know too, is about the farm's philosophy around volunteer engagement.
Well, I can answer that. So, I remember First Fruits Farm started 27 years ago by a team of neighbors who wanted to provide an opportunity for people to serve. So the farm began 27 years ago. Behind that philosophy was we're growing food to give away to those in need. So this place exists because of volunteers. Those guys came together, and 27 years later, we're at 20,000 volunteers.
Amazing.
And the bigger thing about that, we also have a 14 volunteers that feed folks plus people, and those guys are awesome. If you look out here right here, here's some of them right now. This is our pepper team, and they're just planting peppers, but they're more of they have like leadership roles, and they drive the equipment, just really come alongside us as staff and really support in the area that we really need it.
So I know that, I don't know if you all know this, but our Lieutenant Governor, Maurice Miller, is the chair of the Governor's Interfaith Council, and we are planning on coming up sometime in July to volunteer as a council. So I'm asking for us, and I'm asking for anybody else out there that wants to volunteer here at First Fruits Farm. What can a volunteer expect out of the experience of coming to volunteer?
What we want for volunteers is that when they get here, that they feel welcome and have all people. We just want people to know that they're loved and that they're gonna work. It's hard work here, but at the end of the day, they're gonna experience something that is greater than what they experienced. So they get to experience loving somebody, caring for somebody that they never met.
Yeah.
Again, we provide food for people that are in need, and so they're gonna work, whether it's harvesting our potatoes, whether it's harvesting all these peppers. The range of crops that we have here, they're going to have the opportunity to help harvest those crops and support people.
So in July, you might be doing cabbage, which is one of my favorite crops to harvest. So someone will get a big machete, cut off a cabbage, and someone else will carry it into the wagon. And then we have teams in here that bag up the cabbage for distribution. But there's something for everybody, so all ages are welcome. We have little kids, big kids, so we find something for everyone to do, whether it's making boxes and staying out of the sun, or people actually getting their hands in the dirt.
So if someone is coming to volunteer, do you take individuals? Does it have to be in a group? Does it have to be for an extended period of time? Like, what's the process in terms of, availability for volunteers to come and what you want?
So our serving opportunities are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 11:30.
Okay.
And if you are one person or if you're 100 as a group, there's no change or whatever.
Okay.
So if you're one person, sign up as one person. If you got a group of 20 people, 30 people, sign up. Sarah's awesome. She'll get you guys all set up, registered. It'll be a great day.
So usually we bring together like 100 or on the weekends up to 300 people. And then Ben splits them up in different parts of the farm. But we'll keep the groups together, or individuals come with their families, and everyone comes to serve.
We are now here with Jameson Hunsberger, the Director of Farm Operations. Thank you so much for meeting with us today. We're just kind of going around the farm to talk to all of the important folks that keep First Farms running as it does. And so I just have a couple of questions for you. Yeah. Can you tell us what are some of the advantages of greenhouse growing for this ministry?
Yeah, absolutely. So a huge increase in yield. So we're growing tomatoes mostly in the greenhouses.
Okay.
And it yields about 2.5 times what a tomato plant in the field would yield. But the other benefit too is it allows volunteers to be working in the cold winter months.
Okay.
It could be 60, 70 degrees inside here, and they've really enjoyed coming in February to help till the soil and get the new plants planted, and kind of raises the morale and helps extend our season, I guess.
Okay. In the greenhouse, what other vegetables are in the greenhouse versus what's being planted outside?
Yeah, we grow. Lettuce is pretty much the only other crop that will grow in the winter. We may experiment with other crops, in years. The crops we grow outside are green beans, sweet corn, potatoes, cabbage, broccoli, zucchini, onions. There's probably a couple more too. Pumpkins, watermelons. Yeah.
Also, we want to know how the drought that has been going on for quite a while, how has that affected your farming methods and the long-term plan?
Yeah, so it has impacted some of the varieties that we grow. If there's any varieties that are more drought, stress tolerant, we'll plant those, like with green beans, for example. But we're also trying to raise the organic matter in our soil to help retain the water, help absorb the water. Soil health plays a big role in this. Designing efficient irrigation as well, trying to expand our irrigation capacity to help with that.
All right, we're blessed to be here now with Megan Tapscott, who is the Director of Development for the farm. Megan, thank you so much for taking out time to talk to us today. Can you tell us about the farm's overall goals for growth and how fundraising kind of fits into all that? Because this is an amazing progress, project, all of it. I mean, the ministry itself is just amazing. And so, I know it's got to take a lot to keep it going, but we'd love to hear about that.
Sure. So we at First Fruits Farm were driven by the motto, grow more, give more, serve more.
Yes.
I imagine you've heard that quite a few times today. But how that translates for me as it relates to philanthropy is, looking very clearly at our goals. So this year, 2025, we're aiming to grow 3 million pounds of produce fresh out of our fields that will go out into the community. We'll do an additional, another 3 million plus in food rescue that will also be distributed out to our partners. So 6 million total pounds of food going out from First Fruits Farm.
And food rescue, tell me about that.
Food rescue is food that's coming in from partners yes, so this third party food, right,
food
that we
rescue,
call
I like it.
Food rescue, right, that it's all going to the same partners, whether it's the Maryland Food Bank, whether it's Central Baptist in West Baltimore that's doing distribution twice a week. We're getting food to partners that are serving people in immediate need.
Okay. Can you talk to us about how you cultivate those relationships for philanthropy in the midst of the farm?
That's a great question. So I think for us, as it relates to, the problem we're trying to address is food insecurity, right? So people, organizations that care about that are great kind of prospects for us. So again, I think for us, in terms of cultivating those relationships, we are trying to learn who's interested in addressing the problem of food insecurity. But certainly there's a faith component as well. We're led by the Matthew 25 verse, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. So for those that are called to respond to that command from the gospel, that's a good alignment check as well, right?
Can you tell us who some of these wonderful philanthropic partners are that are working with First Fruits Farm?
Sure. So we have a number, we have a program of kind of a lot of foundations and businesses that are very kind of clear in their support of us. The Bunting Family Foundation, France Merrick, Drescher Foundation, the Weinberg Foundation, lots of very strong foundations in Baltimore that provide us with support, some of which also support us with volunteerism as well. France Merrick was just out here a few weeks ago. The Weinberg Foundation volunteers each year as well. In addition to that, a number of companies, M&T Bank, Care First. So some of the household names that you kind of see in the Baltimore skyline have made investments here as well in time and treasure.
We are now here with Jeff Pierce, who is the Director of Food Outreach. And thank you so much for being with us today. We are making our way around the farm, and we want to hear from you how this new distribution center has changed the way that you serve it.
Okay, great. So it's changed us a lot. So 2 years ago, we dedicated a larger facility. So we changed it from primarily working with our own farmed food to working with donated food and farm food. So what we did is we added spaces around. We added a walk-in cooler, so we could keep food nice and chilled. And then we added an 8-bay loading dock, and that allows us to receive tractor trailers full of food. So we're able to bring food in quickly and distribute it like within a day or two.
That's so great.
It's such a game changer for us. So the distribution center was really the anchor. Our board came to us and said, we really want you to be a 12-month ministry. And during the farm season, that's about a 7-month. So those extra 5-6 months, we were kind of closed. And 2 years ago, because of this expanded center, we were able to stay open 12 months a year.
That's just phenomenal.
And to do that, we use donated food. So that's something we started with one of our partners, Hanover Foods, with canned beans. Actually, it was our beans that we gave to them. They canned them, and then they gave them back.
Love it.
And then it moved to people like H&S Bakery in Baltimore. They've been one of our amazing partners.
So can you give us some examples of some of the, would it be third-party distribution?
You could, that's
like what kinds of things do you all get in? I mean, I know about the bread, you just told us about that, but what are some of the other items that people could expect to help pack up from?
Well, we're a farm, so we're very familiar with produce, and we love produce. So we look for that first. We're looking for fruits and vegetables that are first quality, We're close to Philadelphia, so Philadelphia is actually a major port for food.
Okay.
So from Central and South America, we've got grapes coming in from Chile. We've got bananas coming in from Nicaragua and Costa Rica. So yeah, we love the fruits and vegetables. Okay. Beyond that, we're getting all kinds of things.
Okay.
We really want to have fresh food for people, but like for example, we get beverages. So we'll get water, different types of water, sparkling waters and regular waters, flavored waters, to complement the farm food and the produce that we get. And then a few other things too. It's just like whatever our partners have for us, we try to say yes.
Okay. And I understand that is McCormick one of your partners?
Yeah, actually. So this came in on Friday. They gave us a whole pallet of vanilla extract.
Okay.
And if any of you have been to the store lately, the price of spices.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah. So really, to take, to complement the produce, is there anything better than spices? It's just,
No question
fantastic.
about it. Can you describe for us how the donations work with your partners?
Sure. Well, we have about 350 distribution partners, we call them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's grown since COVID. Before COVID, it was about 30. And then, with COVID just changing the
That's
world,
incredible.
it has grown. Every week we're getting calls for new partners. And the thing is, they're coming from farther away. There's just such a need out there. The cost of food, has skyrocketed, cost of everything. So places like ours are able to supplement, to help people. So we work with the big food banks, Maryland Food Bank being one of our biggest partners. Right? And then we work with a lot of large church groups. So they'll have pantries and things. Like Helping Up Mission would be an example of a soup kitchen type where they're doing cooking, 300 meals 3 times a day. So we're able to give them all kinds of things. And then something new for us would be schools, community schools. We have nearly 100 schools that are from this area coming to us. And what they're doing is they're getting fresh foods, taking it back to their schools, and then they're handing them out to the kids, the families, and the neighborhoods. So they're they're using this food as a tool to build relationships with them.
We are now here with the Chief Operating Officer for First Fruits Farm, Mr. Wes Crop. Mr. Crop, so glad that you take the time out to talk to us today. So we got a couple of questions for you. We're making our way around the farm. So can you tell us what it takes behind the scenes to keep a ministry farm like this running?
It's kind of a complex mix of operations, logistics, planning, a lot of heart. And it's not all about growing food. It's about stewardship of your resources, managing your people, your equipment, and making sure you keep mission centered. That's really big. So it's like our expansion of this facility a couple of years ago. I kind of took that on as overseeing that. So we will go into new projects throughout the next 5 years, I'm sure. We expanded our refrigerated room. That hopefully will be done in the next few weeks. So excited about that.
Okay. So you mentioned there was an expansion with the refrigeration. Can you tell our viewers about that?
Yeah, this building was completed about 2 years ago, and the refrigerator room came on about 5 months later. And we thought, wow, it's a big facility, this big room. We thought we'll never outlive this. Well, in about 8 months, we realized it's too small. So we kind of did a logistics area of real estate. What can we do? So we just decided to take the existing room and expand it about 60%. And that'll give us about 5.5 tractor trailer loads of vegetables for cooled product, which is great. So when we get into the harvest season, heavy, that'll be August and September and October. I imagine that room would be full, but it'll give us great capacity to reach a lot of people and keep food at a constant temperature so we can finally get it to their distribution partners and get it out to their people. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, and just tell us one more time, how much can that refrigeration hold?
We figured about 5.5 tractor trailer loads.
5.5 tractor trailer loads all at one time?
All at one time.
Okay, wow.
And we've never planned the facility to be a storage facility. It's in and out. And that's basically what happens. Once it comes in, it usually, our food and product leaves the facility pretty quick.
We are now here with the Director of Programming, Carissa Mortensen. Carissa, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us. Just got a couple of questions for you. We've been popping our way around the farm, and we want to know if you can tell us about the Flourish Project and care farming, what that is.
Awesome. Yep, great. So the Flourish Project began this spring in 2025. It's the farm's initiative to start to do a little bit of more intentional work about bringing people in marginalized people groups, people with disabilities, whether it's physical or intellectual, people in recovery ministries, just whoever needs a little bit more help to be able to access this opportunity to grow, give, and serve more at the farm. Our hope is that anybody who comes to the farm would have an opportunity to really fully participate in everything here. And so the Flourish Project's going to do that. It came because the word flourish is actually means to help something have vigorous growth, and so we know how to do that with plants.
Right.
So we have sun and the rain and the types of soil and everything, and so the better the environment for a plant, the more produce, the more we are able to feed people. So the idea for the Flourish Project would be, what if we could create an environment where anybody who may have some more challenges or may just have life circumstances that make it a little harder to access this opportunity could come and experience flourishing here at the farm.
Wonderful. We are wrapping up our wonderful visit today at First Fruits Farm with this fabulous development officer, Leslie Zuga. Leslie, thank you for taking the time out today. I got to tell our listeners that Leslie is the first person that reached out to us from First Fruits Farm and started this relationship that I pray is going to be a lasting one for the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, for our Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller, and for our Governor's Interfaith Council. So all that being said, thanks again for all that you have done for our site visit when we came before. For today, it has been wonderful. Now, I know this information, but I'd like you to share with our listeners how they can get involved with First Fruits Farm.
Wonderful. First of all, thank you so much for your interest in coming out.
Absolutely.
We've enjoyed getting to know you and sharing our story, because it's a beautiful, compelling story.
It is.
And being a new person out on the farm, I have learned that this place fills your soul, and you just want to have everybody experience this and be transformed by the opportunities to serve while they're here. So as far as how people can help, the number one thing is come visit. I think once you see it, you'll want to get involved.
No question.
And then we'd happy to give tours to anybody, businesses, faith groups, individuals and families, happy to give you a tour. And then it's very easy to sign up to volunteer. You just go to our website, firstfruitsfarm.org. There's a button for volunteer, and then you'll see it connects you to our volunteer coordinator, and she will be in touch with you right away. Pick a date that works for you. Our days are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 11:30 in the morning, and the harvest starts July 7th and goes through Thanksgiving. It's very busy season, but they make it easy for you. They have spotted pots, water, gloves, knee pads. They try to make it comfortable for you. And one thing that's just really beautiful about being here, whether you come on your own or with a business or a church group, it's an opportunity for bonding. It's an opportunity for building relationships while you're here and giving, whether it's your employees or your congregation, the opportunity to benefit from serving and doing it together. And I think that positivity that happens when you're in the field will go back to your business and just pay dividends that way. So it's a beautiful experience. So volunteering obviously is the lifeblood of how we do our work here. And then second of all, and I know Megan touched on this, but it's philanthropy. We can't do what we do without the donations from individuals, from families, from businesses, foundations, and churches, and other religious organizations. So those are the ways. Come experience First Fruits Farm. There's nothing like it.
I have to concur with that. Come out to the farm. This has been a wonderful experience for us, and we are looking forward to coming out to volunteer beginning in July. And thank you for being our faith spotlight for moving into to next month. But we thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Take care, everybody.